This podcast is intended for listeners over the age of 19 in Ontario, and we ask that you respect your local laws regarding cannabis.
As we always say, be sure to like, download, follow, subscribe, and of course, share with all of your friends.
That's right.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Annie. How you doing?
I'm good. Happy Mother's Day, belated Mother's Day.
Yes, happy belated Mother's Day to you as well.
I like to think of it as an all-weekend sort of event.
It kind of is.
Take advantage of every little thing I'm not made to do.
Right.
Yes.
There you go. Well, this is now an annual Mother's Day episode.
It is. It is.
Right?
Well, it's our second annual Mother's Day episode, and last year it was such a heartwarming episode.
Wasn't it? We got so much love and so much feedback from listeners.
Just seeing
last
the support
season.
of listeners for each other, for the community. That's
right.
It's wonderful.
It's amazing.
Year 2.
But this year, before Mother's Day, on Friday, you and I went down to the women's show.
Yeah, we got on the train and went to Toronto.
The big city.
Yes, the women's show was fabulous, and we were there to meet a guest that we had.
That's right, last week's guest.
Yes,
right?
Becky from Molecule. The Molecule team was there.
They actually brought their entire team, didn't they?
Yes.
So all the ladies and one gentleman.
Yes.
From
Molecule.
And they were there. They were handing out non-infused samples of their beverages, which are all fantastic.
Yes.
And then we got to sit and watch a show of them where they taught us how to elevate our drinks.
I don't know if you a stage presentation. You make it sound like we all sat in front of a big TV. And I put the film in the film machine.
Oh my gosh.
I was just had a flashback to junior school and teachers hung over and she's like, "We're watching a film today."
Oh my gosh.
I digress. But we watched Becky do a great
her
presentation.
in Victoria?
No, that's not the right name.
No, that's
and
not the right
sorry.
name. Sorry.
It's all good. They were really just, answering questions and dispelling some of the myths and the fears and the apprehensions around women, trying this as an alternative. And I think it was a great spot for them. And
it's fabulous.
As always, there's so many of our guests that we have not met.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really fun to put a human to the voice.
That's right. And it was kind of cool to meet the team because a lot of them have had kids through this pandemic and managed to get this beverage company up off the ground.
Yes.
They were sharing such great stories of screaming baby, crying baby.
And original meetings in your home kitchen.
Right.
We get it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we started, right? Sitting around Annie's kitchen table.
So it's great to see that company exploding,
Exactly.
and it's going to be great to watch where they go in the future. So happy Mother's Day to all the women who went to the women's...
and all the women who didn't go to the women's show.
And all the women who aren't even mothers but have been a motherly figure in somebody's life.
That's right. That's something that I always talk about is you don't have to birth a child to be a parent to a child, right?
Yes.
And I think that's something that people often forget.
Yes.
So thank you to all of the mother figures out there.
Yeah, and to all the mothers who, and I've been there before, are spending their first Mother's Day without their own mother.
Mm.
It's a jarring thing. I'm enough years into not having my mother that it's not as sharp. But, you think about the women in your life that you've lost.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so shout out to my OG mom.
Well, this year we're going to do the same kind of thing that we did last year, which is we're going to share more stories from our listeners.
And we always get such a varied response.
Right?
What are we going to get? You never know.
You never know.
But we're doing something different in that everybody who wrote us a story...
Yes.
And whose story we read today is going to get an Eco 420 personal...
air filter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So can you explain to us what that is?
Yeah, so the Eco 420 air filters, do you remember those blowies we used to make in high school with the toilet paper tube, and then you shove a bunch of toilet paper or Kleenex, and then you wrap the bottom of it with a Febreze and then elastic band, and then you hit your bong and then blow into that, and you think that nobody. That's right. You think nobody can smell. You're like, I'm so smart. Oh yeah, no, you're not, because we also kept those because we're like, I'm going to be so smart and keep it for the next time.
Stinks. This is a blowy on steroids.
Right? This is the adult version. This is the ecologically friendly. I mean, I know that there's other products that will do the same thing that are out there, but they are not environmentally friendly.
This thing has weight and it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's super discreet. I mean, it fits almost entirely in my hand. I bet if we got Matt to try and
it's the right size,
you know, it's perfect. But the thing I like about this, you know how I feel about the environment, I'm pretty passionate about it, is that this has an air filter in it that actually comes out, and then you just replace that piece. So it's so much better for the environment.
Yep.
And after you blow through it, like you blow your smoke through it, it doesn't smell.
No, it
like there's no lingering smell around it.
We played with this because I was like, really, it works.
It legit works.
Yes, if you get a good seal around your face, which is very easy to do because it is rubber.
Yeah, it's a silicone, isn't it?
Yeah, silicone. Yeah, it really not anything. Smoke got through. It's aircraft grade aluminum. I'm never say that word. It's a lifetime guarantee or warranty, which is like really cool. So I could think of so many times, especially as a mother, where I wanted to be more discreet, but I did want to take the edge off, where an Eco 420 personal air filter could have helped. They were so generous with us. They've given us enough to give all of our letter writers today and host a multi-giveaway.
Yes, it's going to be fabulous. So send us an email.
Yep.
If you're listening to this episode, send us an email. Get some extra entries into
the giveaway.
And let us know.
Tell us where you would use it.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. What situation would you need an Eco 420?
There you go.
There we go.
Thank you, Eco 420, for being so supportive and sending us enough of these to really share with our community.
The other thing I wanted to say about Eco 420 is I love that they're Canadian. Toronto. They're just down the road in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing. Support local, right?
Yep.
We're always talking
They
support
were on
local.
Dragon's Den.
They were on Dragon's Den, that's right.
Which is, I think, really cool.
And I can't remember what happened, honestly.
I don't think it ended in the way that they would have liked, but they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I'm seeing them more and more everywhere.
Yep.
That being said, we are going to read some stories.
That's right. I think I have the first one.
I'm in a singy mood.
You've been singing everything today. It's weird. I'm over it.
Thanks. So, yeah, because of my voice.
Our first message, or our first story is coming from Kimberly, who is the hemp housewife on Instagram.
Yep.
All right, so here we go. What is going on, everybody? My name is Kim, and I'm the hemp housewife. I'm a female-owned cannabis brand and company on a mission to end the negative stigma placed on women, specifically as mothers who choose to use cannabis as our medicine. I've also coined the phrase, Mama needs a minute, on my pursuit to show women that it is okay to take a moment for yourself. And this Mother's Day, I want everybody out there who's a mom, who's a stepmom, who has stepped in and been a mom or a mother figure or anybody who did not have that in their life. I just want you to know how special you are and that you are loved and amazing. You are looked up to. People see how hard you're working. Even when you're thinking, man, nobody appreciates me. Nobody sees what I'm doing. I want you to know somebody does see you. You do matter. You are loved so much. I don't ever want you to forget that. I know that it is hard as women and as mothers, especially if you take children and a husband and all those things that you have to help take care of every day. It is worth it. I promise you, it is worth it. And no matter what you might be thinking in your head, that all this is so hard or I can't believe I'm doing this, I want you to know that you are capable and you are doing an incredible job. Don't ever let anybody make you believe that you are anything less than a bad bitch. Happy Mother's Day.
Sweet.
Right?
Yes, I love that. Rah, Ross.
Right? I love Kim. She has such awesome content on her Instagram page. Loyal follower and listener.
I agree with everything she says except one thing.
Ooh. What?
Mommy needs a moment. I'm sure that I coined that phrase. I need a moment. I just need a moment. Everybody in my family knew what that meant.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely, I love that sentiment. So start on a high note. I have a letter here from at thehappymean.az. Again, always we'll put everybody's handles and whatnot into our show notes. But this is Anna Maria, a friend of the show. she said she couldn't do motherhood without her own mother and her mother-in-law. And she's a mother of a 2 and a 4-year-old. God bless you. I've only been a mom for 4 years, and my experience has been a roller coaster. The intense emotions, the sleepless nights, and the anxiety that comes along from not knowing where you are walking are something no one can prepare you for. I say this all the time. I'm happy I re-encountered cannabis after my postpartum depression during my second pregnancy because it helped me resolve my inner traumas in a much happier and positive light. It helped me understand my mom and be so grateful for how she and my dad parented me. And it helped me re-encounter myself. #CannaMoms was a hashtag that has led me to a huge understanding of the medical part of cannabis that I hadn't used as a teenager. Thank you for all my canna friends for sharing your knowledge, especially you guys, that's us. Kelly, that would be Kelly Addison of Kelly's Green Lounge. And the newbie and the doobie, we know who they are, they're great. And Tiara, thank you. Yeah, she's in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good on you. And you know what? It's okay to not use cannabis and then to come back to it.
For sure.
And I mean, postpartum depression, I do think cannabis should be explored a lot more when it comes to postpartum
100%.
depression. Because there's so much involved in that.
Yeah.
And sometimes just taking that pressure off.
Yeah. That's sometimes all you need.
Yeah.
Right? You just need a minute. That was a good story. I like that one.
Oh, take a little breath.
Take a breath. All right, I have a funny story.
I like funny stories.
Right?
You know I love these story episodes so much.
I know. They're so much fun, right? All right, this one's from Robin, also known as @LadyRaisingGrams. Pardon me. All right, here we go. Okay, ladies, here is one of many stories that I, as a teenager, had thought I pulled one over on the adults. I realize now that I was the fool, LOL. It was a cool day in Markham, Ontario, and me and my friend Terry wanted to smoke a joint, but not outside, of course. We were probably 15 or 16 at the time. I will be 44 this year, so clearly pre-legalization. And I had a brilliant idea. Let's smoke in the garage. My parents won't know, LOL. So we proceed to the side door between my house and the neighbors and enter the garage. There's no way they know we're out here, we say to each other, laughing.
You and every other teenager.
Right? We were such fools, especially since the family room, where my parents spent most of their time, was on the other side of the garage wall. We smoked the joint. This was likely 94 or 1995, and thinking we were so cool and there was no way anyone would know, how wrong we were. Approximately 20 minutes later, while Terry and I are laughing about God knows what in my bedroom, my mom storms in and says, "Are you too high?" Me? "No, Mom, why would you think that?" Mom? "'Cause the garage, and you too for that matter, stink like pot." We both start giggling and swear it was just an American cigarette that we shared. She looks at us both and said, "Jesus, you must think I was born yesterday," slammed my bedroom door shut, and we laughed our asses off. Happy Mother's Day to you both. From Robin.
Oh, thank you, Robin.
Right?
Oh, my God. I think everybody's tried that. And like, Mom would be, "Oh, you're just smoking cigarettes? That's okay."
Yep. I remember a time where I had gone out, smoked a bunch of pot with my friends, and then came home and my what I thought was at the time a cool aunt, right? And I was an adult. I was probably 18 years old, still pre-legalization, adultish. I think legally I was an adult, but in my brain I was a small child. You know? That happens, right? So I had gone home and sat across the table, or like across, we were outside, so across, like, you know, the outside table. And she looked at me and she goes, "You're stoned." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And she goes, "Then would you like to explain why your pupils are so incredibly dilated?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? It's so bright outside." And she says, "Amanda, it's 11 o'clock at night. It is very dark." And that's when I got busted.
Oh my gosh, I know, I love that. She needed one of those, what did you call it, the original Eco 420? She needed a blowy.
You need a blowy.
And then she'd be like, yeah, I'm totally covered now.
Right?
I got a blowy.
Yeah, I got a blowy, and then I'm going to take the blowy back in my house and make my whole room stink.
Before we move along from Robin, she's amazing. She does all of our homework. She tried some drinks and shared it with us. She sends us the most amazing stories.
She does.
She is fabulous on Instagram. We will be putting her handle in. She is somebody that should be followed because she's making great
She's making waves.
That is educated and fun.
Yep.
That was fun. I want to stay on fun.
You want to stay on fun?
Can I do that?
Go for it.
Okay. This is anonymous because this person is ratting out their mother. I maybe the mom listens, I'm not sure, but you'll know who you are. Okay, I think my favorite story that involves moms and cannabis would have to be the time my mom decided to innocently eat a cookie from the freezer of my sister's house. Although a fan of most baked goods, Mom was blissfully unaware of the culinary explorations taking place by my sister's husband. Needless to say, hilarity ensued when she couldn't figure out why she began feeling funny while driving home.
Ooh.
So it hit while she was driving home.
Ooh.
She pulled over, questioning, "Am I having a heart attack?" After pausing a few minutes and deciding, "This can't be a heart attack," she slowly and with extreme focus drove home. How slow is she driving?
Oh my goodness.
It's like a scene out of a movie. Unable to actively walk up the stairs, she crawled her way up and into bed. And here she began putting things together, recalling my sister's husband had made cannabis-infused butter in the past. So maybe there was something more to that cookie. But now wasn't the time to figure out this mystery. Sleep was calling.
Yep.
Waking the next morning, having what she claims to be the best sleep she ever had. Oh my God, I gotta be able to hold it together to finish this. She realized that some cookies shouldn't be consumed without some questions being asked first.
Right?
To this day, she still won't eat any treat from my sister's fridge or freezer without asking what's in it first.
Yes. And a primo example of why it's so important to label your cannabis. If you have something in your freezer, just put a sticker on it, right with a Sharpie. Poison. THC. Not for kids. Beware. You know, anything, right? Like, just put something on it that anybody who would look at it would go, I should ask a question before I consume this.
Well, that's like the story I've told before on the show where we left a cookie in a hotel room.
Yep.
And I had to call the hotel and be like,
just heads up, you
heads
know?
up.
Right? All right, I've got one. And this is something that I'm pretty passionate about. So this is coming from Shannon at The Real Weed Mama. So Shannon says, I think many women out there, especially moms who suffer from low libido or painful sex, would have their minds blown and even a mind-blowing orgasm if they just tried a little bit of cannabis. I was scared to go back to cannabis after I quit for 6 years from bad anxiety, so I can relate to the hesitancy of trying cannabis. If you've had a bad experience before, the key is in dosing and method. I started Weed Mama to teach you how to use cannabis to take away the fear of it, so women can feel confident using the plant. There's simply nothing better for sex than cannabis.
We agree.
Amen to that. Thank you, Shannon. Her tag on Instagram is at The Real Weed Mama. She's totally right.
Totally.
Sex and cannabis go hand in hand.
Go back and listen to our Valentine's Day episode.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's a great message. It's
so
a great
appropriate.
Message. And again, being like, you can step away for a while, especially, as a new mom. That's probably something that you're just not going to have time for or headspace for. And that's okay. And then coming back to it, you have to come back to it with a much more conscious, what do we call it? Consuming with intention.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tolerance breaks are never a bad thing, right? Like,
no.
Tolerance breaks from anything are fine. I tried to do a sugar tolerance break. It lasted only a couple of days. But you know what? I'm not even using as much sugar.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just good for your body. It's good to take breaks.
It is. So, I have another letter from Miss Jane's Cloud. That is Miranda from Toke, who we've also had on the show.
Hey, Miranda, what's happening?
She sent us something short and sweet. She said, Dear Canna Mums, please know that you are seen and you have a community. Just because we have chosen cannabis as a function in our lives does not mean our parenting skills are lacking or that we need to hide our choice. We are raising the next generation of open-minded individuals who will carry an understanding and respect for the plant and all it has to offer. You're doing great, Mama. Keep going. So positive.
And so true.
You know, but sometimes this positivity and this ability to really shout out to everybody, like you're seen, you're heard.
Yeah.
It's an intergenerational thing. And when she sent us this story, it made me think of when she was on the show, her mother reached out to us.
Yes.
After she was on the show, and she said, "Thank you so much for your chat with Miranda. I am her mom, so I may be a bit biased. Thank you for chatting with her. She has worked so hard to get to where she is, and we could not be more proud. Her knowledge and determination definitely set her apart from the rest." And her mama messaged us.
Yo, that's so awesome.
So I love that.
No wonder Miranda's so awesome. Her mom's pretty awesome too.
Her mom backs her, so.
Yeah, and Miranda has kids. I hope one day I get to meet her kids.
Yes.
Because I bet she's got some pretty dope-ass kids too.
I think they're about my kids' age or a little bit older.
Think so.
Yeah. And you know, we're all at different stages of motherhood. Very early on in Hi Ladies podcast, we spoke about and we talked, we had, what am I trying to say? One of our very first friends of the podcast was the Stoner Wife and Penny.
Yes.
Who had a cooking show on YouTube.
Yo, her banana bread recipe is now my go-to banana bread recipe. It's so it's so bloody good.
You're not allowed to swear on the show now?
Oh, right. Right. Sorry, it's so fucking good.
You can still check her out on YouTube, Stoner Wife and Penny. It'll be in our show notes. I ended up having a back and forth sort of messaging thing with her when I called out for stories, and I could hear, she couldn't text because she was breastfeeding, and I only knew she was breastfeeding because I could hear her baby purring.
Oh, yeah.
And she is the mother of a 5-month-old, which is a really hard, you're in it. You're in
the thick of it.
Yeah. And she was talking about the fact that she hasn't consumed since she got pregnant or since she had her baby. And there was a lot of conflicting sort of feelings that she was having around it of, would she go back? If she does go back, she knows she'll go back where she's not just, wake and bake and stoned all day like we all were at one point before motherhood. But she'll be consuming with intention.
Right.
And she was kind of feeling like, do I lose clout because I'm not using right now? And I was like, absolutely not.
Nope.
Absolutely. You can still be like a huge advocate for the plant.
Of course.
And you may or may not get back to it.
Yeah.
And when you do, you'll do so in a different way because everything looks different on other side of motherhood.
That's right.
So we send her love. I don't think we'll send her an Eco 420. I want to invite her over so she can sit down and we'll hold the baby.
Yeah.
And she can just chill out. I'm far enough out of having a baby now that I'm not traumatized. Back in the day, Matt would be like, do you want to hold this little baby? I'd be like, no, thanks. No.
Yeah.
Now, with an 8 and a 10-year-old, like, yeah, okay, I'll hold your baby for 10 minutes.
Yep. It's funny because it's true.
Because it's true. Thank you for all the stories that we were able to share today.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to everybody on Instagram who sent us a story or email. I think some of them came through email. So
yeah,
and
all sorts of different ways.
We're going to ship you out some awesome Eco 420 stuff.
Yes.
Because you deserve it, moms.
Indeed.
All right, so we have an awesome book that we got sent by a listener.
Yep.
Now, this listener also happens to be the author, but,
A listener and an author.
Right? So this book called Why Mummy Gets High, written by Wendy Brazill, and it was illustrated by Daniela. Daniela, I'm sorry if I murder your last name here. I think it's Titchman.
I
think it's Titchman.
Sure. Yeah.
Daniela Titchman's the illustrator, Wendy Brazill being the author.
Why Mommy Gets High.
Why Mummy Gets High. So I'm going to read sort of what this book is, I guess, about. I mean, I think
what
you
the
know
intention is.
Yeah. So in writing Why Mummy Gets High, my goal was to start a conversation between parents and their children in hopes of taking away the fear that some adults feel who responsibly use cannabis. Just as many parents choose to have a glass of wine in order to relax after a long day, marijuana, cannabis, when used responsibly, should be viewed similarly. Why Mummy Gets High explains to children that cannabis, used in moderation by adults, is not some scary, evil substance, but rather a potentially wonderful aid in helping parents to relax, connect, and enjoy their children.
Nice.
Do you want to read a little excerpt of it?
I will, and I think this could be a really useful book for parents wanting to, at the right age, have a little conversation. It could also be a great gift to your cannabis lover who's about to become a mom.
Yep. So many uses for this book. I mean, my self-esteem felt better after reading this. What's essentially a children's book, right? But I felt so much better about myself. Anyways, this is a little excerpt from the middle of the book.
It's hard to have fun with so much on my mind. Sometimes Mummy needs a way to unwind. Mummy may slip away for just a minute or two. I'll come back carefree, ready to bake cookies with you. Although I may smell a little bit funny, I'll be a much happier Mummy, and our chocolate chip cookies will be extra yummy. That's just a little excerpt, but that's great. You can find Why Mummy Gets High on Instagram at y.mummy.gets.high. We'll figure that out. I love the book. I think it's a great stepping point or even just a fun gift to that canna mom in your life.
Agreed.
So do support local artists and local authors. Love it.
Love it.
But no, happy Mother's Day, Amanda.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all of our listeners. It is time, I mean, we could do this all day.
We sure could.
But it is time for us to step away.
Take a toke.
And go be moms. If you've enjoyed today's episode, you can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and we always love stories. So if you have any story, you can send them into, what's our email?
highladies.podcast@gmail.com.
If you haven't found us on Instagram, we are
at High Ladies Podcast.
And on that note,
bye ladies.
Stay high.